Soil fertility. Soil fertility may be defined as the ability of a soil to supply all the essential plant nutrients in readily available forms to the crop plants. When soils are deficient in some of the essential elements, the deficient elements are supplemented from outside sources in the form of manures, fertilizers and lime. Soil may be fertile, that is having chemical capacity, but may not be productive because of excessive acidity or alkalinity or the presence of toxic substances, poor physical properties or an excess or deficiency of water.
Soil productivity. Soil productivity refers to the capacity of a soil for producing a specified plant or sequences of plants under a specified system of management, i.e., the capacity of the soil to produce crops per unit area of the field. A fertile soil may or may not be productive, depending upon crop production conditions and several other factors, but a productive soil is always fertile. Soil productivity is influenced by aerial environment and soil environment.
Let's understand the difference between soil fertility and soil productivity. Soil fertility refers to the ability of the soil to supply essential nutrients to plants. It is a qualitative property that focuses on the nutrient status of the soil, like its content of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, organic matter, and microbial life. On the other hand, soil productivity is the actual capacity of the soil to produce crops. It is quantitative, meaning it's measured by how much yield the soil can produce per unit area. Fertility is just one component of productivity. Productivity depends not only on soil fertility, but also on factors like water availability, climate, crop variety, and farming practices. That means a soil can be fertile, but not productive if other conditions, like water or temperature, are unfavorable. Likewise, a less fertile soil might be made productive through good management and external inputs like fertilizers and irrigation. In short, soil fertility is the potential to support plant growth, while soil productivity is the actual performance in producing crops. Now let's look at some management practices for enhancing soil fertility. These practices can be grouped into 4 major strategies. First, reduce the loss of nutrients from the cropping system. To do this, minimize surface erosion through soil conservation practices. Reduce excessive use of irrigation water, especially in porous soils, to prevent nutrient leaching. Control the gaseous loss of nutrients such as nitrogen into the atmosphere. Avoid burning cattle dung, which destroys valuable organic nutrients. Properly manage human waste like night soil and urine to reduce nutrient loss and ensure safe recycling. Second, improve nutrient use efficiency. Increase the use of farmyard manure and compost. Maximize the return or benefit from using these organic inputs. Reduce the labor required for distributing FYM, making it more practical for farmers. Promote the cultivation of useful perennial crops that enhance soil health over time. Encourage the use of crops that require fewer nutrients. And most importantly, make extensive use of mulching to conserve moisture and nutrients in the soil. Third, facilitate the production and conservation of nutrients in more usable forms. Introduce green manure crops that also serve as animal fodder. Support research and use of microbial inoculants like mycorrhiza and azotobacter to improve root function and nutrient uptake. Finally, bring fertilizers into the system from external sources. Promote the balanced and appropriate use of chemical fertilizers, and work to improve their availability so that farmers can access them when needed. By applying these practices together, we can build healthier, more fertile soils that support sustainable agricultural productivity. Let's explore the difference between plant growth and plant development. Plant growth refers to an irreversible increase in size, volume, or mass of a plant. It is a quantitative process, meaning we can measure it in terms of height, weight, or number of leaves. Growth primarily results from cell division and elongation. On the other hand, plant development is the process through which a plant moves through different life stages, like germination, flowering, fruiting, and eventually senescence. It is a qualitative change involving differentiation and morphogenesis, which shapes the overall form and function of the plant. While growth can be measured directly, development is observed as a sequence of biological events. Both are essential and interconnected in a plant's life cycle. In short, growth is about getting bigger. Development is about becoming more complex.